Stop for a second. Look at this moment. Look at where you are right now. Another night gone, another day wasted. Not because you couldn't do better, but because you didn't choose to. That phone in your hand feels harmless, but minute by minute, it's stealing something you can never get back. Your time, your focus, your future. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow has been your excuse for years, and deep down, you know it. You feel it when the room goes quiet, when the screen turns off, when reality hits. This isn't about motivation, it's about honesty. How long are you going to sit here watching your life pass instead of standing up and taking control?
Everyone looks like they're moving forward, chasing goals, building lives, and you're standing still. Not because you're lazy, not because you're incapable, but because you're scared of choosing the wrong path. So you choose nothing. But staying still is still a decision, and it's costing you more than you realize. Every day you wait, someone else is becoming the person you want to be. They're not smarter than you, they're not more talented, they're just willing to move before they feel ready. Direction doesn't come from thinking, it comes from stepping forward. Even if you don't know where it leads, especially then. This isn't about motivation, it's about honesty. How long are you going to sit here watching your life pass instead of standing up and taking control? Time doesn't scare you on purpose. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't threaten you. It just leaves, quietly, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 year at a time. You don't notice it at first, because life feels long, until suddenly it doesn't. One day you wake up and realize you've been planning your life longer than you've been living it. Time is the only thing you can't earn back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And the question isn't how much time you have left. The question is what you're doing with the time you still have. You call it a break, just a few minutes to relax. But minutes become hours, and hours become habits. You scroll to escape thinking, to escape responsibility, to escape the uncomfortable truth that you should be doing more. Distraction feels good until it doesn't, until you look back and realize how much potential you traded for comfort. Your phone isn't the enemy, your lack of control is. Every moment you give away is a moment your future never receives, and one day you'll wish you had been bored more often, because boredom is where growth begins. You dream big at night. You imagine a better version of yourself, stronger, more confident, more alive. But every morning you return to the same routine, same excuses, same comfort, same fear. Dreams don't die because they're impossible. They die because they're postponed, over and over again. You don't need better dreams, you need better actions, because a dream without action is just a fantasy, and fantasies don't change lives. Decisions do. Your lack of control is. Every moment you give away is a moment your future never receives. And one day, you'll wish you had been bored more often, because boredom is where growth begins. The work isn't what exhausts you. It's the resistance. It's fighting yourself every day, knowing what you should do and not doing it. That weight you feel, that heaviness in your chest, that's regret forming. Starting is hard, but not starting is harder. One builds strength, the other builds pain. You don't need to move fast, you just need to move forward. Even slow progress beats standing still forever. You don't need better dreams, you need better actions. Because a dream without action is just a fantasy. And fantasies don't change lives. Decisions do. Your lack of control is. Every moment you give away is a moment your future never receives. And one day, you'll wish you had been bored more often, because boredom is where growth begins. There's a moment most people avoid, a quiet moment, when there's no noise to hide behind, no phone, no music, no distractions, just you and the truth. This is the moment when you realize you've been running, not from failure, but from yourself. Because silence forces honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable. It shows you what you've ignored, what you've delayed, what you've been afraid to admit. But silence is also powerful because clarity lives there. If you're brave enough to sit with it, you'll start to hear something real again, your own voice. Look at yourself. Not the version you show others, the real one. The one who knows exactly what needs to change. You don't hate yourself. You're disappointed. Because you know your potential, and you know you're not using it. But disappointment doesn't mean you're broken. It means you still care, and that matters. Because the moment you stop caring, that's when you're truly lost. This reflection isn't judging you. It's waiting. Waiting for you to decide whether today is just another excuse or the day things finally change. Every life comes down to choices. Easy feels safe. Hard feels uncertain. Easy gives comfort now. Hard gives freedom later. Most people don't choose wrong. They just never choose at all. They stand here forever, waiting for guarantees. But growth doesn't come with guarantees, only chances. The hard path isn't hard forever, but the easy path costs you your future. You don't need courage for a lifetime. You just need it for the next step, and then the next. Discipline doesn't feel heroic. It feels boring, uncomfortable, lonely. It's waking up early when no one is watching. It's doing the work when motivation is silent. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't post online. It doesn't ask for praise. But discipline builds something powerful: self-respect. And once you have that, you stop needing external motivation, because you no longer break promises to yourself, and then the next. Some journeys are lonely, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something different. Growth separates you from who you used to be, and not everyone comes with you. That's okay. The road doesn't need approval, it needs commitment. And one day, the same people who didn't understand will wonder how you did it. Quiet consistency always speaks louder than words. This is where lives change, not in big moments, but in quiet ones, when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, just you showing up again. Most people quit here because it feels invisible, but invisible effort creates visible results. Every hour you invest now is building a future version of you that won't have to struggle like this. Big change is a lie. It scares people, overwhelms them, keeps them stuck. Real change is small, quiet, daily, one block at a time, one habit at a time, one decision at a time. You don't wake up transformed. You build yourself. And those small actions you think don't matter, they matter the most because they compound. Doubt doesn't disappear. It shows up right when you start moving. It whispers lies, tells you you're not enough, not ready, not capable. But doubt isn't a stop sign. It's a checkpoint. It asks one question: how bad do you want this? And every time you continue anyway, doubt loses power. Purpose isn't found by asking, what do I want? It's built by asking, what can I give? When you help others, you strengthen yourself. When you take responsibility, you gain direction. Meaning comes from contribution. That's why empty lives are usually selfish ones, and fulfilled lives are built around service. Responsibility is heavy, but so is regret. One builds strength, the other builds pain. Carrying weight gives life meaning, and once you've carried enough, you realize something important. You're stronger than you thought. Comparison steals clarity. You don't need their life, their timeline, their validation. You need alignment. Your path doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to be yours. Stay in your lane.
progress feels better than approval ever will.
Every day you keep going, you change. Not loudly, not instantly, but deeply. You become someone who finishes things, who follows through, who trusts himself, and that changes everything. Time is limited. That's not fear, that's clarity. You don't get infinite chances, you get now. And now is enough if you use it. Time is limited. That's not fear, that's clarity. You don't get infinite chances, you get now. And now is enough if you use it.